Hey y'all, so I have my cousin back in and she's coming for a full set, and these are going to be her birthday nails. So we wanted to do something extra but not too much. She really doesn't like a lot, so with her it has to be kind of simple but cute. So I did not know what I was going to do, but I had a color pattern in mind, so I just started with that. So to start off, I'm going to do her natural nail prep first. So I have pushed back her epinicium, and now I'm coming in with my cuticle bit, and I'm going on the back area of her nail just to try to detach that dead skin away from the nail plate. So I'll do it on one side first, so typically the left side, and then I will put my bit in reverse, and then I will do the right side. After I do that and get all of that dead cuticle off, I'll come in with my sanding band and etch the nail plate. Now I only want to remove shine, so I'm not doing a whole lot of pressure. I'm just easing over that nail until it is dull and there is no shine left. So I have her tips on, and these are the straight Coffin nail tips. I got these from, I want to say you say it like Zulays.com, and one of you guys actually left me a comment in regards to the tips and said, go to this website and you will find a straight tip with no curve. So she did have them. They weren't in tapered square, but they were in Coffin. And the thing about these tips, they run small in size. So if I'm trying to create a more tapered square, then all I'm going to do is add a bigger size than what she would originally need. So that's what you see me doing. I placed her tips on, cut them down into length, measured them, and now I'm coming in with the sanding bit and just smoothing out where the tip meets the nail. So I've been using them for about maybe like 2 weeks, and I love them. I love that they do not have a C curve. I wish she had them just like in actual tapered square, but like I said, if you just use a size bigger, you can create a tapered square with these tips. I really do recommend them, and I'm so thankful that she left me the comment and told me where to get them from. So thank you, girl. So now I'm going to come in, and I've already dehydrated and primed. So I'm using this glitter that I got from Glitter Planet. Very beautiful glitter. I really get a lot of my glitters from there. They have a huge selection and they are good glitters. So to start this application, I started with a clear bead, and then I dipped my brush with no extra product on it into the raw glitter, and then I patted that glitter on top of that clear that I've already put down. So that is how you're going to get a more popping glitter effect. You can go in and mix it with your acrylic and it looks good, don't get me wrong, but I find too when you just place the glitter on top of the clear acrylic, it really does give a better clarity to that nail. So when it comes to capping this nail, I'm going to use wet beads. Anytime I'm doing glitter, and I can't stress it enough, you use wet beads. You do not want to do a glitter nail and then you use a dry bead or you move it around like you would do a normal bead. You're going to end up with it looking basically foggy. You don't want that. You want that beautiful glitter to show through. So you make sure you use wet beads and you make sure that your monomer is clean. Now, throughout the set, as you're using different colored powders, that's how your monomer gets dirty. So to avoid that, I always start with my glitter nail first, or I'll do it last after I have cleaned out my monomer. So for this nail, this one is going to be just the solid nude, and I'm using Not Polish's Nude Me. I recently just purchased a lot of these nude colors and I've been using them, but some of them I have not been using, and that's really because I hadn't swatched them yet, so I really didn't know what the colors were. And when I'm working, I'll tend to just grab what I know. So I finally got a chance to swatch all of these, and I have been using more and more of these different nudes. Like I said, I normally only swatch my colors, but I find swatching the nudes has helped too, just so I can know what I have. So for the pinky, I'm going to be doing a tri ombre. So I'm going to start with my first color, get that applied, get it in place, and then allow it to set up. Now with my ombres, I always do my first color and let that dry and then come back before I start with the next, especially if I'm doing a tricolor or anything like that. I really want to give time for that color to dry so there won't be any bleeding and I can create a smooth fade. So at this point in the set, you're going to see me jump back and forth from nail to nail. Since I'm allowing that ombre to dry, I'm going to come over here to the pointer finger and I'm going to be creating a V cut for this nail. So I'm going to start at the center of her nail. I'm going to pat out the back area of that bead that I applied, holding her finger down. Then I'm just going to walk that bead down. So I'm going to fill that tip up, I'm going to pat it out, and then I'm going to leave it and let that set up and come back to the pinky. So now I'm coming in with my second color, and the first thing I'm going to do, I had a little bit too much. I'm just going to take that off and then blend out the back area. I really want to make sure that that back area is nice and faded, so when I come in with my next color, it fades right in. So I just patted it into place, and then I'm going to bring it down and then blend that down into that first color. And you can see I wiped away a little bit off of the first color because you want to make sure that it's just faded up into that first color, not taking over. So now I'm coming back to the pointer. I don't want it all the way dry, so it's semi-dry, and I'm going to come in with my X-Acto knife and just make my V cut. And when it comes to making cuts, you want to give time for the product to kind of go semi-dry. Now, every powder is not like that. Some of them I'll go in kind of right after I get it into place and start my cut. So you really just have to know and be knowledgeable of what you're using and how it works. So after I got my cut made, I'm going to come in and fill in the back area, my cuticle area, and I'm also going to bring a little bit of that down. So I feel like it wasn't enough at the tip area, so I'm just going to apply a small bead, put my brush in reverse, and then walk that down. And I'm really going to make sure that I clean up the sides when I bring it down, because of course I don't want to ruin the cut that I just made. I don't want to alter it, I just want to add to it. And when you're doing a V cut or a French, anything like that, you want to be sure that you check the thickness from the side. So when you look at the side, look at it as if it was going to be your finished nail, how thick you want that to be. Of course, you're going to go in and file, so take that into consideration. But look at it like that. Don't worry about the French at all. Just worry about how thick it is and how you want it to look towards the end. So now I'm coming back to the pinky, and this is another GlamandGlits color, I believe. Oh, I just had it in my head. I'm going to have to put it in the description because I forgot that. Oh, it's Glow Me. That's what it is. Glow Me. I got it. And I'm just going to come in and apply that color. Now with this ombre, y'all, what I should have done is did less of the first color, because when I come in and start my ombre with the nude, you see that back area is all I have to work with. So I needed more nude basically when I was creating this. So I should have just applied that blue just a little bit shorter and really just had my ombre on just the tip of her nail. I shouldn't have came onto the nail bed at all. But on the other hand, the opposite hand, I did correct that. But that's kind of the stuff you don't know until it happens. Okay, so for the thumb, this one is also going to be an ombre. So I'm going to start by applying my first color and getting that into place and then letting it dry. So now that I have all of my colors applied and they're dry, I'm going to come in with my new color to create my ombre. So this is what I'm talking about, y'all. I had just a little space for that nude color. And you can see there, anytime that I place a bead, I'll know automatically if it is too big. So I'll go in, take a little bit of that off, and then just smooth it out. So this one I really had to build up. And that's the thing about ombres. You have to slowly build them up and fade them, in the right place. So with my ombres, I like to apply them, walk them down a little bit so I can get the opaqueness of the nude color. And then once I walk it down towards the bottom of that bead, I like to fade it out. So with me not making enough room when I was walking it down, I was really taking away from the yellow. And so that is what I'm talking about when I said you need to make sure that you have enough space for your nude color. So I'm just going to continue applying very small beads and trying to really just create opaqueness and still create a fade while still showing all of my colors at the same time. So I'm going to continue with my thumb, just building those colors up, keeping in mind that I do not want to bring them past the tip. I want to keep them restricted to that nail tip and not on my nail bed. So like I said, I'm going to apply those and then apply my nude. So I'm coming back to my V cut and I'm going to go in with my hand file and start sharpening up that edge. Now, anytime I'm doing a V cut, French, side cut, anything like that, I always come back with my hand file and make sure that I sharpen it up. But I also come across the top of that bead and I smooth it and flatten it out. Now, like I said, you always want to look from the side because that's going to tell you how thick your tip is going to be. So of course, if you go in and you apply this and it's still thick, like where that nude is that you built up and you didn't smooth it or flatten it out, when you come in and apply your color and then say for instance you cap that too, well, you're sealing those bumps in. So you don't want to do that. You want to make sure that it's smooth and it's flat and it's not too thick from the side. So I'm coming in with my color, and this the GlamandGlits Glow Me, and I started this bead at the tip and I'm really just basically going to push it back and into the side walls. So I'm just going to do that, and I'm being real careful to not really get this all over that nude color. I want to apply it as clean as I can, so when I come in and cap it, I can just cap it. I don't have to wait for it to dry and then file it. So when I'm doing this, I'm also making sure that I am keeping the side walls clean and I'm keeping that bead flat too. You can really get yourself into trouble if you go in and you apply your French color and it's just really too thick and it's not properly placed inside the tip. Then when you come to file, it's going to take forever to get that into shape. So really make sure that you're applying small beads, and even if you have to break it up, you can see I did the bottom half of that first and then I went in and just came in with a small bead and added that onto the side. So always apply your acrylic clean. That will save you when it comes to filing. Okay, so I have my application done and now I'm going to start my filing. Now, filing is the most important thing to me. I spend a lot of time when it comes to filing because it just does it for me. You know how people when they're like on their post and it's like it's the shape for me. Well, it is definitely the shape for me. I'm not even lying, okay? I'm gonna make sure you are sharp. And for tapered square, I feel like you can easily mess that up. So you really want to make sure that you don't give up. That's what I always say. I kind of feel like when it comes to shaping, you can get to where you're shaping so much and you're trying so hard that you give up and you're like, oh, this is fine. No, if you would have went in and just continued and just smoothed out that edge and just brought this piece in, it would have ended up being what you wanted. So that's my little 2 cents. Don't give up. Make sure that you really put in the effort to get that shape put into place. So after I hand file and I basically get the perimeter sharp how I want it, I'll come in with my sanding band. I have not used my safety bit in a minute, y'all. I've just been using my sanding band and I love it. Like I said, to smooth out the back area of the cuticle and flush it out, the sanding band really works. So that's what I've been using at the moment. Okay, so I have my finished filing done and look at them, y'all. Shaped up, okay? That's what I want to see when I get done with a nail. I want it to be sharp. So now I'm going to come in and start my design, and here I'm going to be doing some 3D flowers. So I'm going to start with my center piece first, and I'm using diamonds to achieve that. So like I said, when it comes to 3D, you want to do that. You want to start with something that's going to make it easy for you. So for me, when I apply my center first, that's what helps me place the petals where they need to be. So when it also comes to 3D, y'all, you have to make sure that you're using the right powders. Sometimes I run into a set that I've already applied the base, and then I come in and apply the 3D and it's just not working. And you'll know what type of powders those are. The ones that aren't smooth, they take a long time to dry, so they're really runny, they're powdery. Those are the ones you kind of want to stay away from when you're creating 3D flowers. But if you are set on using that color that you used in the set for your flowers, sometimes I will add just a little bit of acetone to my monomer, and that'll help speed up the drying process on the powder. So that'll kind of help stiff it up. Not a lot, but it'll help. And also, when you're doing that, you really have to take longer just to let it set up, and just keep watching them, your beads, making sure that they're not running around. Keep them in a ball and just allow them to dry. So I have a video a while back, a bunch of videos back, where I did 3D flowers. I still do it the same way. So if you want to learn more about those, go ahead and watch that video. And in 3D, I feel like it's never going to go out of style, especially when summertime comes around. Everybody wants 3D. Even fall is another big one where a lot of people do a lot of 3D nail art. So to finish this nail, I'm going to add another flower after this one. I'm going to use all the colors that I used in the set just to bring it all together. Then I'm going to do like a little tiny cluster in between the flowers of diamonds, and that is it. So here are the nails completed. I ended up loving them. I was trying to be more simple because I feel like most of the time I go overboard with the freestyle, and I really loved how they came out. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see y'all in another video. Bye.